Hello, my name is Willoughby and I do the local voter education program. And what I want to talk about here is the last 2025 May 3rd election. Believe me, it was rigged. I believe it was rigged 100%. I believe it was rigged. But nevertheless, have you ever had a goal, set out a goal to? I set out a goal to run till 2025. About 3 elections ago, I started working on a book titled 2015 to 2025, My Decade Running for City Council and How to Lose Weight. Just that I learned so much from 2013 on up that I need to put it somewhere out of my head. I mean, this is what I've been to over 100 council meetings, bond meetings, budget meetings. I really know what's going on in the city for what it's worth. Now, I might have flunked out a lot through school, but as far as educating myself about the city, well, I'm way above a lot of people. Over 95% of these people here in the city doesn't know what I know about it, because you know, it's several reasons. We're not taught in school to learn about it, and people really became complacent. When you get what you want and you have no desire for something, I mean, it's handed to you, then you get lazy and you want someone else to govern the city for you. You don't want to do it. And this is what happened to Fort Worth. But anyway, what I want to do is go over my past voting record. When I started back in 2015, and what got me started was code compliance. Brandon Bennett deserves all the credit for that. And if it wasn't for his dishonesty, I'd never been this much involved. But when I got involved and got railroaded around by code compliance, my character attacked, letters sent out to people that I work for behind my back, stuff that's happened that I would have never dreamed that would happen in our city that we live in. But anyway, that's what got me involved. I did a 1-hour taping with Brandon Bennett. It's on tape. He couldn't answer questions. He tries to manipulate you. I'm new at this. I did a terrible job myself. I mean, but I'm new at this, stumbling into this. I've never been involved with our city, and because the schools didn't teach us to get involved, I guess. But anyway, dealing with him is what got me started, and it just kept going from there. And I kept learning more and more, and my hair kept getting grayer and grayer. So, and I told him when I left his office that I'd leave no stone unturned to start getting this changed around, especially when I heard they could write citations with 0 notice. That's wrong. It's been wrong, still wrong. Okay? So I left. Running for council was just one of the things to do to help change this. I never stopped working at it. I'll never stop working at it year round. Every time I ran, there's been different people running. They've never been there before. They've never been to council meetings, bond meetings, budget meetings, and after the election, they're not there, they're gone. So, I mean, I've been there from time to time. I wanted to learn about the job before I did it because I've got respect for the city. I got respect for the money of the city. I got respect for the job. And if I didn't have that respect, I wouldn't go to budget meetings or bond meetings or council meetings if I didn't have that respect. That's how I show. Okay. The 2015, when I first ran, it was a trial run. I spent $450. Gina Bibbins spent over $45,000. That was, so total votes were 2,791. Just me and Gina running 2,791 votes. I got 389 votes. Now, that's not because of me. I had fun on that first one. I just ran to see if I could do it to learn as a trial run, really. Not even trying to win. Most of those votes, I would say, are just people that didn't like Gina Bibbins. Not just Gina Bibbins, anybody in office is always going to have some people that don't like them no matter what. So there's always going to be a few people that will not go for the person in office. And I was the other choice. So a lot of those votes, most of those votes came from just people that really didn't like Gina Bibbins. That's what they're from, I would say, because I hadn't been in long enough, didn't do anything to really earn any votes, so I'm not going to try to take credit for that. 2017, when I got ready to run to try to get more of a run, I was rejected from the ballot for not meeting a requirement that was not on the requirement list. I had to be a write-in. and I got 113 votes as a write-in. Now that's not bad as a write-in. So that's not bad for a write-in, and being at it no longer than I have and what I've done. But I worked at it from year to year, keep putting out leaflets and trying. And total votes were 2,916 votes. Now in 2015, we're around 60,000 people, 65, or probably around 70, 75,000 or somewhere around there. We got 2,916 votes in 2017, a little bit more than 2015. But I was just a write-in. I was not on the ballot, so not that many people had to step up to go out and vote. So yeah, the voting would be low anyway because of the circumstances. 2019, I got 247 votes, but this is the first time we had about 4 people in the race. More people jumped in the race and that, but I still got 247 votes, and total votes were 4,486 votes. That's 2019. So it went up because we had more people in the race. That's why we went up to 4,486, up in that number there. 2021, I got 646 votes. There was 5,752 total votes, going up. City's growing, district's growing. Naturally, it's going to go up. Just automatically, it's going up. And the 646 votes, I spent about $5,000 that year. And that was the, more money. I had more money to work with, and I spent it that year. 2023, now this is where it gets crazy. It's where I got 651 votes, but I spent twice as much money, $11,000. And the total votes dropped down to 3,600. They should have been around 6,000. They dropped 50%. You don't lose 50% between election and next election like that without some kind of a arrangement, movement. This is like, I can't find the word for it right now, but anyway, this is more of an arrangement. These votes were moved, something's not right. It doesn't drop that much. If you had a fever and your thermometer dropped 50%, you'd be at the critical hospital. Well, we dropped 50%, 3,600 votes. And by design, maybe that's the word. That has to be done by design. That's not normal. It's just not normal. It's real simple. It's right here in black and white. It's on print. It's there. Face it, don't face it. But that's 2023. I got 651 votes. I only netted a few extra votes, and I spent twice as much money. I question that, but nevertheless, this is on paper, though. At least we can go with what's on paper. 2 elections in a row, over 600 votes. 2025, my votes dropped down to 67 votes. There again, you don't lose that many votes that short a time unless it's done by design. It's done by design. It's rigged. Total votes, 4,651 votes. We're down not much more than what it was in 2019. You had the incompetent out and a lot of people running. The vote numbers, something's wrong. There's just something wrong here. Well, the only thing that's going to make me believe that we can eliminate fraud in our voting here is to have a recall of the District 5 election. And it's very important to do it. Why this district is so important, there's a lot of land to develop right here in this district. If you don't have a lot of land in your district and it's filled up with buildings and houses, it's not as important as the area that has a lot of land. So this is where all the corruption comes in. This is where all the money is right here for developers and stuff. Load apartments or whatever they want to dump over here so they can make money, and they'll do it. But what we need to do, or the only thing that I would feel comfortable with, is a recall 3 locations: the Martin Luther King Center, the Hanley Community Center, and the school over in it's across the river. I can't think of the name of the area there. But that would cover most of this district. Do paper ballots, 6 employees in each location. At the end of the night, they split the ballots in half, 3 people on each side of the table. They count on this side half the ballots, they count half the ballots. They verify each other's ballots by moving them across, changing their halves over. That counts them twice. we do that, I feel like we can get an honest count and actually could eliminate the talk of fraud if it comes out. But if it doesn't come out, then we know fraud is a major thing in this whole thing, and we have to clean it up. Before we can even think about worrying about why our votes are going down, we got to first see if there's fraud. How much is this real that we're getting? Because these numbers don't add up. They're by design. It's clearly on paper here. There's something wrong. So that's what I sent a letter to Tim O'Hare, the county judge. I don't know what the procedures are to try to get a recall. I do want to work on filing for a recount regardless, but I still don't think that's going to, if these people, they know what they're doing and they know what you can do. So if they're doing anything wrong, they're going to do it where, you know, it's like I can get the video and watch the video room, the tally room, them counting, but I wouldn't know what's going on unless I'm in there. So that's the only way I would feel comfortable with this election here if we did that paper ballot. Anyway, I met my goal. I ran to 2025. I don't know if I'll run again or not. Maybe not. I have no idea right now. But the main thing is I'm still working at the same thing I worked at from the beginning, is that we need to get more people involved. This voting is way too low. Until we get up to 10 or 12% voting, common sense will not play a role. There was 25,000 people that voted for Maddie Parker, and they know she's a two-faced liar, and they still voted for her. That's because you can get a few percent of any city of idiots, or people that are crooked, or bald, or ignorant, or gullible, or weak-minded. That's not that big. That's why they keep us down to that percentage. We've got to get up higher. Every election, all the time, I put leaflets door to door trying to get more people involved. It's very hard. And I'll be at the school board, even though it's just a crooked. That's one of the places we need to work. So, anyway, I want to let you know this is a corrupt, this was a rigged election. I will not be respecting Deborah Peoples. She does not respect us or our city. If she did, she would have been doing her civic duty before running for office. If Peoples respected us, like I said, she would have been at council meetings. I offered the woman $100 from my campaign fund to hers, plus $100 St. Jude's Children's Hospital, if she would answer 5 questions, and she declined. And now she's sitting in there as a council member. How bad can these people be, and you'll still let them sit in there? She needs to be removed. And she doesn't know what she's a puppet. We've got a 100% puppet again in District 5. Nothing's going to change. No one's going to hold her accountable. If they're going to hold her accountable, they would have held her accountable and made her answer 5 questions. They'd be going, Deborah, what the hell's wrong with you? Why aren't you taking those 5 questions? That's $100 from your competitor, and that's $100 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital. Those kids, do anybody give a damn about them? Oh no, your life's okay, so why should you worry? It's not you. Until it's you, and then you'll worry. And that's what I learned about our city. I learned a lot in 13 years, and I learned what the problem is. And the main thing is to get in the schools and start teaching these kids not to be like 95% of the people in this city. It's going to take decades to bleed this out and bleed in new, but if that's what it takes. I'm willing to work at it because it needs to be changed. We can have a lot better city, and we need it because we're going the wrong way rapidly. So, well, let me make a point to you here that from doing what I've been doing over the last 13 years, the last 10 years of running for office, I learned a lot. You wouldn't know if you hadn't done what I've done. By putting the time in and then some of the years, it's gave me some knowledge that none of us know. You wouldn't have known in 2015 the Star-Telegram would advertise or publicize each candidate's own words. They'd do interviews, they'd put it in that paper word by word what you said before they became a political paper and started endorsing. Okay. You wouldn't know that. You really need to wake up and see what's going on. It's not that hard. I've got videos on my website. I've got decades of knowledge I'm putting in there. You can learn what took me 10 years. You can learn a lot in about 10 minutes. So, and that's free. And knowledge is the one thing that anybody can give you that can be priceless, and no one can steal it from you, is knowledge. Don't be ignorant.